Good morning. We are on the record. This is Volume 1 in the videotape deposition of Mark Stidham in the matter of State of Washington versus LLR Inc. et al. Cause number 19-2-02325-2 SEA in the State of Washington, King County Superior Court, and was noticed by the plaintiffs. The time is approximately 9:10 a.m. on the 18th day of 2019, December. We are convening at 5020 Campus Drive, Newport Beach, California, 92660. My name is Craig Ellingson from Buell Real-Time Reporting, LLC, located at 1325 4th Avenue, Suite 1840 in Seattle, Washington, 98101. Will counsel and all present please identify themselves for the record?
Joe Canada from the Attorney General's office. With me here today is Tiffany Lee, and on the phone is Brina Roos.
Anthony Todaro from DLA Piper on behalf of the witness and all defendants, and with me is Bill Florados, General Counsel of LuLaRoe.
The court reporter will now swear in the witness.
Would you raise your right hand, please? You do solemnly state under penalty of perjury that the evidence you shall give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Stidham. One moment. Can you please state and spell your full legal name?
Mark Allen Stidham. It's Mark with a K. Allen is A-L-A-N. Stidham is S-T-I-D-H-A-M.
Mr. Stidham, have you been deposed before?
Yes,
When?
multiple times.
When was the last time you were deposed?
I don't recall the exact date, but recently.
What was the case name?
I'm sorry, what?
What was the case name? Or what was the lawsuit?
It was probably Providence Industries versus LuLaRoe.
And before the Providence case, when was the last time you were deposed?
I don't know.
Were you deposed prior to that case?
Sure, yes.
How many times?
More than one. I'm not keeping a log of depositions.
Can you give me a time frame? Was this past 5 years, past
Yeah,
10 years?
in the past, I think I was deposed in the in a sales tax case.
And was that sales tax case, did that involve LuLaRoe?
Yes.
Okay. Other than the Providence case and the sales tax case, have you been deposed in other matters?
Yes.
Do you generally recall the subject matter of those cases?
I was an expert witness in a real estate case.
And when was that?
25 years ago.
So other than the Providence case, the sales tax case, and the real estate case, have you been deposed in other cases?
Not that I recall at this time.
Have you ever testified in court?
Yes.
In what matters?
Again, as an expert witness.
In that same real estate case?
Yes.
Okay. Have you testified in court in any other matter?
Yes. In the CMS case. And I don't recall if I was deposed in that case or not, but I testified in court on that case.
Other than the real estate matter and the CMS matter, have you testified in court on any other occasion?
Not that I recall.
So it sounds like you've been here before, but I'll just review some of the general procedures for depositions. The court reporter a moment ago put you under oath. You understand that you're under oath here today?
Yes.
And that your testimony here today is the same as if it were being given in court?
Yes.
And in fact, your video may, depending on the circumstances, be played in court?
Yes.
Is there any reason that you can't provide complete and honest and accurate testimony today?
No.
Any medications?
No.
Medical conditions?
No.
Any other reasons you could possibly think of?
No.
And the court reporter has the difficult job of recording every word we say. So that means a couple of things which are not intuitive to a normal conversation. We have to not speak at the same time. There's only one of her. She can't transcribe two people at once. You have to respond audibly. Uh-huhs, shaking of the heads, things that we normally do all the time don't really work here. And this is more for me, but I will try and speak slowly. Do you understand all those guidelines?
Yes.
There may be times when your counsel objects. Primarily, those are for background legal reasons. Unless he instructs you not to answer, I would ask that you answer if a question is given despite an objection.
Okay.
I would also ask that if you don't understand my question, you tell me and give me the chance to clarify. Can you do that?
Yes.
And if you answer a question, I'm going to assume that you understood the original question. Is that fair?
Yes.
Generally, I'll try to take a break once every hour, but if at any time you need to take a break, you should let us know. The only caveat is that if there's a question pending, I would ask that you answer the question before taking the break.
Okay.
What did you do to prepare for today?
I had a meeting with my attorneys
And when was that?
last week.
And by your attorneys, are you referring to Mr. Todaro and Mr. LuLaRoe, I believe?
Yes.
Was anyone else present?
Yes.
Who was present?
Other counsel, John Skolnick, and I don't remember the other person's name.
Was that other person associated with the law firms or the counsel? that was
Yes.
present? Okay. And how long was that meeting?
I'm sorry, what?
How long was that meeting with your counsel?
It's probably 3 to 4 hours.
Did they show you any documents?
Yes.
Do you recall if those documents, what were those documents?
Specifically, I recall looking at a response to interrogatories and to the suit, the actual suit that was filed.
Other than those two documents, did you review any other documents?
It's possible. I don't recall specifically.
Were they documents that have been produced in this litigation? They would have a little number on the bottom right corner.
Again, it's possible. I don't recall. I don't really remember any specific documents.
Do you remember the general nature of those documents? What subject matter they dealt with?
No, again, I don't have a recollection of any other specific documents. So I recall looking at the response to interrogatories, I recall looking at the suit, and when I say I don't recall, is it possible they showed me something else? They may have, but I don't have a specific recollection, so I don't have a recollection of what they were about either.
Understood. And before today, other than your attorneys, did you talk about your deposition with anyone else?
No.
Did you mention it's your secretary?
Did I talk about it, or did I acknowledge that I had it?
Either one.
Okay, yes. My wife knows I'm at a deposition, and I don't have a specific secretary, but my wife knows, and I'm sure I told other people I wasn't available today because I was going to deposition.
Got it. Did any of those people assist in preparing you for today?
No.
I noticed that you brought a notepad with you today. Does that contain notes from your meeting with your
Nope.
attorneys? Okay. What's in it?
notes from, I don't really know. I like a notepad whenever I'm doing something. That page isn't even mine. My wife did that page. It's a notepad I picked up and brought so that I would have a notepad in front of me if there were things that I wanted to remember or things that I wanted to just take note of from this meeting.
How are you currently employed?
I work for LuLaRoe.
And what's your position at LuLaRoe?
I am a co-CEO and president, co-president.
So you're co-CEO and you're co-president.
Yes.
Who is the other or others CEOs or presidents?
That would be my wife, Deanne Brady.
And how long have you had those co-positions?
Since the company was incorporated.
And when was that?
I believe that the LLC was incorporated in January of 2014, but I believe that there's the two companies, and I believe the corporation was incorporated in early 2015, I believe. Don't know exactly.
Okay, so back up one sec. So there's a corporation early 2015, and then there's an LLC roughly January 2014.
Yeah.
And is it LuLaRoe Corporation and LuLaRoe LLC?
I believe that they are referred to as LuLaRoe LLC and LLR Inc.
And are you the co-CEO of both entities
Yes,
and the co-president of both entities?
yes,
And those titles have been the same since both of those entities came into existence?
to the best of my knowledge. We are a small family organization, and so we don't stand on the formality of titles. And so they're, to the best of my knowledge, yes.
And what are your responsibilities and duties as co-CEO and co-president?
That's a broad question. All of the activities that a CEO would do. I oversee the complete operation of the company, including finance, production, manufacturing, order fulfillment, basically all operations.
And as between you and your co-CEO / co-president, do you divide those duties, divvy them up, divide and conquer, or do you both handle them all? How does that work?
There is a division of responsibility, not formal, but just in our operations. Deanne is more focused on the sales side of the business and the fashion side, and I'm more focused on the fulfillment and operation side.
And how are you compensated for your employment for LLR and LuLaRoe?
I receive a salary.
I see.
Don't recall.
Other than your salary, do you receive compensation from LuLaRoe or LLR? A bonus, for example.
I'm sorry, can I have the question reread?
Sorry, what, for example?
A bonus, for example.
Can I have that question reread, please?
Other than your salary, do you receive compensation from LuLaRoe or LLR, a bonus, for example?
And that's relative to your position as an executive.
No.
Do you participate in the leadership bonus program at LuLaRoe?
No.
Are you on the board of LuLaRoe or LLR?
Well,
There's not a formal
LLC.
board.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
There's not a formal board
For either?
for either.
Do you own stock or shares in either entity?
No.
Where is the main office that you work at?
At the moment, I work out of 1375 Sampson Avenue.
And what, is that the LuLaRoe or the LLR office?
They're components of both companies that share office space.
Is there an office space for an entity called Lenin Leasing?
There's not a specific office space for Lenin Leasing.
What is Lenin Leasing?
Lenin Leasing is an LLC.
Are you employed by Lenin Leasing?
No.
How is it affiliated, if at all, with either LuLaRoe or LLR?
Lenin Leasing owns the trademarks and intellectual property that LuLaRoe uses in its business.
Does it have any employees?
No.
And a moment ago, you noted that Deanne focuses on sales and fashion. You focus on fulfillment and operations. Where does marketing fall within the CEO/presidency responsibilities?
I would say that marketing, that we both have input on that.
And who at the company, if anyone, assists you or Deanne with marketing?
We have several employees that are in the marketing department.
Is there a, who's the head of the marketing department?
Currently, it is a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Simpson.
Can you spell that for the court reporter?
Yeah, it's Loren and then Simpson, S-O-N, Simpson, like the cartoon.
And a moment ago, you said that you don't have any stock in LuLaRoe or LLR. Is that right?
That's correct.
Are there any shareholders?
Yes.
And who are they? Understood. And can you run through who your children are? I know it's a long list.
You gonna make me spell them all too? Kenny Brady, Amelia Lyon, Nicole Thompson, Jordan Brady, Michael Brady, Alex Brady, Daniela Brady, Austin Stidham, Morgan Stidham, Devon Stidham, that's D-E-V-O-N, Alexa Stidham. I believe that's the ones that are on the trust.
And Michael Brady, does he go by, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, Mihai?
Mihai and Marion.
And pardon?
Marion, M-A-R-I-O-N.
And can you spell Mihai for the court reporter?
M-I-H-A-I.
And Amelia Lyon and Nicole Thompson, I assume those are married names?
Yes.
What were their
They were both Brady's.
degrees? I'm going to run through that list again, and if you could let me know if that individual has a role at either LuLaRoe or LLR, that would be appreciated, and what that role is. So Kenny Brady,
Yes.
and what his
He is the VP of Sales.
Amelia Lyon,
Yes. She is a photographer.
Nicole
No.
Thompson, Jordan Brady,
Yes. And I believe Jordan works. There's some overlap in sales and marketing, but he's in a role there somewhere.
Michael Brady,
Yes. Michael is our head of production.
what does a head of production do?
He's in charge of the production of our products.
Got it. Alex Brady,
No.
Danielle Brady,
No.
Austin Stidham,
Yes. Austin is in charge of, he does compliance and analytics.
Morgan Stidham,
No.
Devon Stidham,
No.
Alexis Stidham. One office, or do you have multiple offices?
Me personally?
personally, yeah.
Just one.
Okay. And I understand as CEO you have a wide range of responsibilities. So, roughly how much time do you spend in the office versus elsewhere in connection with your work?
I would say, I don't know, probably 40% of my time in my office.
And where else does your job take you?
Everybody else's office.
And speaking of which, so where are LuLaRoe's or LLR's other offices?
We have offices, I do not know the address off the top of my head, but it's in a place called Dos Lagos, and it's in Corona, but in an office building. We also have offices at our Fontana production facility, and we also have offices in South Carolina at our facility there.
And are all the executives / management kind of in your location?
No.
How is the company organized across offices?
So right at this moment, finance and HR are in the same building I'm in. Warehousing and fulfillment are spread between Fontana and South Carolina. And sales, marketing, production, and IT are in the Dos Lagos building.
I assume in your office there's a computer.
Yes.
Are there paper files?
Minimal.
Minimal. So you're mainly a electronic computer guy.
No.
But in terms of records and workflow, most of it goes through LuLaRoe's sort of electronic resources.
I guess we can say that. Yeah.
And what is your LuLaRoe email address? Do you use any other email addresses in connection with LuLaRoe?
No.
What about LLR?
It's all the same.
Do you do you use Instagram?
Yes.
In connection with your work?
Somewhat.
And what's your Instagram name or handle?
That's a great question. I've posted 16 times.
Got it.
Yeah, okay. When you say, do I use Instagram, mostly I follow other
it.
people on Instagram.
Okay. What about Twitter? Do you use Twitter?
I'm sorry, what?
What about Twitter? Do you use Twitter?
No.
What's the primary way you communicate with your management team?
Telephone or in person?
Okay. Do you text them?
Occasionally.
We need to have that be marked
Yeah.
confidential.
And is that a personal cell phone?
Yes. Well, it's the only one I have.
Okay. So you mentioned that LuLaRoe was incorporated. One of the entities was incorporated in early 2014. One in early, I believe you said 2015. Putting aside when the entities were formed, when was the first time you or Deanne sold a product using the name LuLaRoe?
Again, I couldn't tell you exactly, but my best guess would be early in 13. Maybe late in 12.
Was this the maxi skirt?
Pardon me?
Was this the maxi?
Yes.
So that was the first product.
Yes.
And that's M-A-X-I, right?
Yes.
So I believe you said that LuLaRoe has no directors. Is that true for LLR as well?
Has no directors.
I'm going to
Everybody-
object on
Let me-
foundation and misstates.
Let me restate the question. Does LuLaRoe have a board of directors?
No.
Okay. Does LLR have a board of directors?
No.
We touched on this a little bit when we were running through various individuals who work at LuLaRoe, but could you run through the departments or divisions of the company? Well, so there's marketing, there's sales, there's compliance, there's finance. Are there other departments?
Okay. So we already mentioned Noel Knighton as the Chief Financial Officer. I have Art McCracken. You spell it. You're going to be as good as I am. I think it's M-C-K-R-A-C-K-E-N. He's my Chief Strategy Officer. John West is the Chief Supply Officer, meaning supply forward. Michael Brady is the Chief Production Officer. Kenny Brady is the VP of Sales. Lauren Simpson is the Chief Sales and Marketing Officer. Guillermo Lopez is the Chief Technology Officer. And I believe that covers them.
And when you say that they're
I mean, obviously it goes way deeper than that.
I was
But if
just gonna
we're
ask.
asking about the people that report to me, that's the structure.
and those people have people that report to them,
Yes.
correct? Okay, so they're managers. Is that fair to call them that?
Yeah.
Okay. You said for West that he's Chief Supply Forward. Did I hear that
Yeah,
correctly?
that means he's fulfillment of the product. He manages our warehouses and processes for fulfillment of orders.
And for McCracken, West, Simpson, and Lopez, are any of them related to you by marriage,
No.
birth, adoption? going to ask you for about a few more names that I don't think we've covered. Who is Jill Nielsen?
I'm sorry, who?
Who is Jill Nielsen?
That would be Kenny Brady's wife.
Okay. Does she have a role at the company?
No.
Okay. Ben Ward?
Ben works in the sales department.
So he would be under Mr. Simpson?
Under Kenny or Mr. Simpson, yeah.
Jairo Martinez?
Jairo, I believe, works. I think Jairo reports to Michael, but I'm not sure in what capacity.
Megan Alvarez?
Megan reports to Michael also on the production team.
Grace Nicole Santayana?
No idea.
Okay. Summer Johnson?
Summer, I believe, is she's on the sales team somewhere. And Grace Nicole is probably Nikki Santayana. Yeah, and she's on the sales team. I believe.
Okay. Got it. Mark Allender?
Mark who?
Allender, H-L-A-N-D-E-R.
Not ringing a bell
Okay.
for me.
Some of these might be formers also, former employees. Tim Transtrom?
Say it again.
Tim Transtrom?
Yeah. Tim is actually an outside consultant, I believe.
And who within the company does he work with?
I'm not quite sure of Tim's reporting. Occasionally he reports to me, but I'm not sure. He's probably in IT, would be my guess on Tim.
Jared Ingram?
No, doesn't work there.
Did he ever?
Yeah,
And what was his role?
he worked in sales.
And I understand Mr. Florado is in-house counsel?
Yes,
I'm sorry,
or as we refer to him as outhouse counsel.
more appropriate.
He's general counsel. He's not an employee.
Got it. Okay, that was my next question. And Robert Lowell, similar role?
Yes,
Does Robert Lowell go by Bob?
yes.
Are there any other Bobs that you're aware of that work for the company?
There is a Bob Allender. I wonder if that was your Hollander guy. I don't know. Allender, A-H-L-A-N-D-E-R, who manages events.
Okay. Any other Bobs?
Huh?
Any other Bobs?
Not that readily come to mind. I mean, we have 700
Yeah,
employees.
no, I
There's
understand.
Quite possibly there's a Bob out there.
Justin Lyon?
Yes, Justin works in the marketing department.
This is a hard one. Siri Neese, N-E-A-S?
Siri's in accounting,
And is Siri a man or woman?
a woman.
And what does she do in accounting?
She answers all my questions. Her name is Siri. No. She's our controller.
And what are her responsibilities as controller?
I'm not real clear on exactly what her responsibilities are. She reports to the CFO.
Does Doug, I don't have a last name, does that ring a bell, Doug? Is there a Doug who's high-level management at all?
It's not that I'm aware of.
And I know that was a long list, but for those that I asked you about, are any of them related to you?
Yes.
Who?
Justin Lyon is a son-in-law.
And who's he married to?
Amelia.
Okay. Any others?
Would you read through the list again?
Yeah, I can do that quickly. Ben Ward,
No.
Jairo Martinez,
No.
Megan Alvarez,
No.
Nikki,
No.
Summer Johnson,
No.
Tim Transtrom,
No.
Jared Ingram,
Jared is a nephew. Deanne's nephew.
and what are the names of his parents?
Rick and Diane Ingram.
Either Mr. Florado or Lowell.
No.
Justin, oh, we already talked, Justin, Siri?
No.
Okay. Turning back to bigger picture, does LuLaRoe or LLR conduct any business outside of the U.S.?
Yes.
And what business does it conduct?
A lot of our production is outside the U.S.
Is that primarily Asia and South or Central America?
Yes.
Does LuLaRoe or LLR have any production facilities in Europe,
Not that I'm aware of.
Canada?
No.
Other than production, does either LuLaRoe or LLR conduct business outside of the U.S.?
At this moment, no. And I say that because we've been working to get into Canada for some time, but we're not there yet.
So when you say in this moment, potentially in the future, but what about the past?
No.
Do you ever have to travel to Europe for LuLaRoe or LLR business?
No.
When you measure performance of LuLaRoe or LLR, what metric do you focus on? And do you focus on sales? Do you focus on profit? And what do you view as, I guess, a key performance indicator for the company?
Object to form, vague, overbroad.
Yeah, there's multiple, what we would refer to as KPIs. And retail sales is definitely one of the large ones. We look at sales of the retailers, of the independent fashion retailers. We have metrics around their growth. And our own internal sales.
Okay, let me just address those one by one. So retail sales, that would be sales of IFRs to everyday people out there.
Correct.
And then you said metrics around IFR growth. Do you mean the number of IFRs that are associated with LuLaRoe, or do you mean some other form of IFR growth?
No, I mean their individual growth as a business.
So, I see. So individual IFR performance.
Right.
And then internal sales, was that the final one?
Yes.
And would that also be called wholesale sales?
Wholesale sales.
And that would be sales from LuLaRoe to IFRs.
Correct.
Counsel, you're just about to your hour, and there's a call I have to return anytime that would be convenient for you to take a break.
Why don't we take can we go off the record for a sec?
Off the record, the time is 9:59 a.m.